Today we are presenting a mystery for you.
It's a fact-checking game enhanced by large language models and a tangible interface.
We live in a time of polarized media politics, hate speech, and rampant misinformation.
It is essential for the youth today to have fact-checking skills, critical thinking, and investigative bent of mind.
We have seen the harmful impacts of misinformation and lack of media literacy, from swaying of elections to communal violence. And now with generative AI, the misinformation is growing exponentially, from AI-generated election campaigns in Argentina to entire websites of AI-generated fake news. This brings us to the question: could generative AI be repurposed as an educational tool to tackle misinformation? Researching into prior work on educational fact-checking games, we found that most reinforce skim reading and scrolling. The impact of player decisions in changing the gameplay is minimal, and overall, they have a low replayability factor.
For designing our game, we define the challenges to address. First, the game should challenge the player to actively investigate. Second, the game interface should offer immersive interaction and not encourage the player just to point, click, and skim read. Third, the game should be replayable, offering unique scenarios in every game playthrough. Finally, the decisions made by the player should impact the sequential evolution of the game.
To address these issues in the affordances of our devices, such as skim reading and mindless scrolling, we took the challenge to reimagine what an interface for such a game could be. No screen, no keyboard. Instead, our game celebrates slow media, pacing out media production and consumption, fostering intentionality and mindfulness.
The design got inspiration from analog machines, integrating buttons and electronic components into a teleprinter-like device. It is highly compact and easy to assemble.
Now the gameplay. As a citizen fact checker, you have 7 game days to investigate into a scenario alert printed out for you. For example, breaking news. A video circulating on social media shows a group of protesters vandalizing a local government building in a city that has sparked outrage in the community. How would you like to start the investigation? To make your move, you have a toolkit of 5 actions that you can use to investigate 10 actors. You can combine these to make moves like interview the local community or reverse search images of photo evidence. Overall, you can make about 50 different moves. The underlying prompt engineering in this game has 4 prompts: one to establish and start the game, then for the player move with the inserted action and actor cards, and then for the player verdict.
A user talks to the large language model by inserting a pair of cartridges into the device. Each cartridge contains an encoded information as input. The trigger for the input mechanism is hidden at the base of the card slots. Each card slot has 5 buttons, enabling up to 31 inputs through various combinations of pressed buttons. Users will hear the click when pressing a cartridge toward the buttons, which is satisfying feedback. The communication infrastructure between users and the large language model involves data transmission between microcontroller and the web app on a computer via serial communication. The data transmission between the web app and the ChatGPT is facilitated through the OpenAI API. There's a lot happening when users interact with the device. Contents generated by ChatGPT in the cloud are transmitted back to the local computer and finally to the microcontroller, waiting to print.
Each day's update tells you what your investigation revealed and any other event that has taken place. For example, a new riot broke out. Sometimes unexpected and interesting scenarios emerge, such as a journalist found something out and is trying to contact you. An entire game world begins to emerge. When you make a verdict, the game not only tells you if you're right or wrong, but why. The image being spread was out of context. For example, the image being spread was out of context, therefore going beyond simplified notions of true and false. During our preliminary research, we interviewed experts from Alt News and Indian fact-checking organization to get feedback on our approach and learn more from their real life fact-checking methodologies and educational outreach program.
User studies at each stage provided us with useful feedback and helped us iterate on our design. Users engaged with the device intuitively, expressing satisfaction with the tactile feedback. The gradual printing process of the thermal printer encouraged the user to read the news update line by line instead of skimming as they likely would have on a digital screen. Some participants also asked to retain the printed receipts as souvenirs.
Through this journey, we critically reflected on the use and potential of AI-generated gameplay in educational games and what we as game designers need to be mindful of. Given that black box AI models have risks of inherent biases from the data used to train them, prompt engineering in games like ours needs strict content moderation to not generate targeted scenarios, such as towards a specific community. Tangible interfaces can be a unique content moderation strategy, such as a cartridge design, that prevents players from engaging with the large language model in inappropriate responses by typing in anything. Finally, our game can also be a research tool to analyze biases embedded in these systems and for the player's decision-making process. And this calls for further research. Thank you.
Thank you.